Introducing first the challenger. He weighs in at 205 pounds, fighting out of Austin, Texas. Please welcome back to AIW, He weighs in at 175 pounds and fighting out of the East Lansing Dojo. He is your reigning and defending AIW Intense Division Champion,
Here we go, fans, kicking off the second half of Gauntlet for the Gold. Joining me, BJ Whitmer. BJ, this is a match, of course, over a year in the making. And in fact, when these two first began feuding with each other, you were still in the midst of your record-long Intense Division Championship reign. And now we see these two, Lewis Lyndon and ACH, rekindling that feud over the Intense Division title.
Yeah, it's taken over a year for this match to actually take place just because of other commitments, elsewhere and, things that were beyond the control of AIW here. But what we have here tonight is two of the most athletically gifted guys in that locker room back there. And I am just so fired up and so anxious to watch this match.
Of course, Lewis Lyndon began the hot streak that would eventually see him become the new Intense Division champion when you had to vacate that title due to injury, almost at the expense of ACH, and the expense of almost a cold spell for ACH. Of course, that match was supposed to happen last year in Absolution 8. Instead, we saw the return of Flip Kendrick as ACH had suffered a concussion and was unable to make it. As you said, so many other commitments. He's a man who's definitely taken off in professional wrestling.
Yeah, the guy stayed busy every weekend, and now that they were able to line this match up, I expect nothing but something special out of this match tonight.
Well, you have to think they've spent that time scouting each other. Even more, ACH had that chip on his shoulder towards Lewis Lyndon last year. He talked about wanting to prove that he was the best, wanting to prove he deserved his spot, and Lewis Lyndon had almost stolen it from him through some rather cheap tactics. I mean, let's call it like it was. There were low blows, there were hook of the tights.
You have to call a spade a spade. He did whatever he had to do to win, He's just, some guys won't take those shortcuts. He's definitely one of those guys that will take those shortcuts, though. So ACH has got his work cut out for him tonight because you just don't know what to expect with Lewis Lyndon out there.
Well, you got to think that got under the skin of a guy like ACH who prides himself on the fact that he has gotten and attained that success in professional wrestling thanks to the hard work and dedication, the motivation, as he's always quick to point out. Right out with that rear waist lock, that takedown into that front face lock.
Yeah, still in the midst of the feeling out process here.
Well, and it's a little bit of a surprise that it's ACH that appears to be the one looking to keep this match grounded. As Lewis Lyndon definitely, don't get me wrong, one of the more agile competitors, but more of a striker than a high flyer. ACH, on the other hand, one of the most innovative wrestlers out there. And we talked about how these two have watched tape, but I mean, it's almost pointless to watch tape of ACH because even he doesn't know what he's going to do half the time.
Wow. That knee was right on the button. Yeah, see, that's the thing with Lewis Lyndon, though, is he is so unorthodox with his strikes. These strikes come from so many different angles. You just don't know, when to expect them. I mean, you can't really watch tape. Oh, what a kick there. You can't really watch tape of Lewis Lyndon either. I mean, he's going to throw this kick, but you don't know where it's coming from or, what angle he's going to throw it from. It's just,
Absolutely, great point. Lewis Lyndon, as much credit as I give to ACH for being creative, Lewis Lyndon definitely a creative competitor himself and a guy whose success is somewhat discounted. I mean, you're talking about a multiple-time AIW Tag Team Champion who has managed to channel that, to funnel it into singles success, which honestly, BJ, not many guys have done here in Absolute Intense Wrestling. There's a very short list of men who have reached those heights in the tag division and in turn also found them as a singles competitor.
Yeah, it's very rare in wrestling as a whole for a guy to be a tag team specialist and then to go on and to have that same amount of success as a singles competitor. It's very hard and it's very difficult to do that.
And Louis Lyndon, say what you want. As I said, I'm not necessarily a fan of the attitude he's taken on over recent years, not necessarily a fan of some of the tactics he's used, but he is the Intense Division champion, and he has retained that belt. You, BJ, know how incredibly difficult of a task that is.
Yes, it's incredibly difficult. You have everybody from top to bottom gunning for you because they want that belt. Look at the athleticism there.
Well, an ACH showing just why he got that shot, just why he's where he is. Let's not forget, ACH.
And he ain't nothing but floor on that one. Oh, my goodness.
The plancha and nobody home down to that wood floor here in Turner's Hall.
Absolutely unforgiving wood floor here.
So I was getting set to give ACH credit and say you're obviously familiar with him, having gone to the finals of the JT Lightning Invitational Tournament with him 2 years ago.
Yeah. Pump kick almost knocked him over the guardrail.
Well, and it's so many times, BJ, your body has a chance to give when you catch that. If you're in the center of the ring, it's still going to do damage, but you almost have a chance to come backwards, to shield your body and try to get away from some of that impact. There was nowhere for ACH to go as he found himself up against the guardrail when he ate that pump kick.
He ate the full impact of that kick, and I guarantee you he is seeing stars right now.
Presence of mind just enough to kick out on two, but Lyndon, you got to think, is not going to give him much space, and that's got to be the key against a guy like ACH. As I said, you've been in there with him, you know, you give him any amount of distance, and he's going to take to the air, he's going to use his speed.
Yeah, you just don't know what to expect from him. Like I said, as unorthodox as Louis Lyndon is with his strikes, ACH is just as unorthodox with his aerial maneuvers.
Well, and Louis Lyndon doing the right thing, keeping him grounded. I may not, again, agree with the tactics, the blatant choke right there on the ropes, but he breaks it in time. He looks to keep ACH grounded, looks to keep him close.
Beautiful neck breaker there, capitalized cover, Lyndon.
Cover, but no hook of the leg, and that's not going to get it done against ACH.
Nonchalant cover there. That is not, these guys, a lot of these guys, I don't know if they're just wanting to get their face on camera or what they're looking to do, but you have to hook the leg if you expect to win.
Well, and say what you will, obviously we're giving him some well-deserved flack about not hooking the leg. Lyndon was quick to not give ACH time to recover after the kick out. He could have questioned the count, as so many guys do, instead going right into that submission hold.
Muda lock, beautiful Muda lock. Look at the bridge there. Yeah, he gave him no space, no distance whatsoever. He had ACH down, and he capitalized, and he locked on that Muda lock.
This crowd looking to get it behind him, and ACH, see, that time gave him a little bit too much time.
Oh, forearm. And that knee to the breadbasket will cut you off every time.
Indeed, ACH looking to come up big in his return to Absolute Intense Wrestling, and looking almost to get that monkey off his back. As I said, he had a lot of success very early here in AIW, but towards the end of his previous run, before that concussion put him on the sidelines, definitely had been on a sour streak. He's a guy that had met with defeat more often than wins, had seen himself slide down the card a little bit, and look at that. He looked to get that momentum.
Locks in that Dragon Sleeper.
And he'd center the ring, lock it in, and we've seen this end a lot of matches, BJ.
He has been winning matches as of late with this Dragon Sleeper. Can ACH find a way out of this? There's not too many escapes. Can he find one here?
Well, you see him right there looking to utilize the strikes, looking to create just enough impact.
Shoulder to the breadbasket there. That's one place you can always go to shut a guy down. You hit him in that breadbasket, takes the wind right away from him.
Well, as the old saying goes, if a man can't breathe, a man can't fight.
Exactly.
I mean, your body relies on oxygen. If it's not getting into you and you get short of breath,
it will shut you down in a heartbeat.
You know, it slows that blood flow down, and so many of your body's vital functions rely on that oxygen. But right there, that boot to the head disoriented him, and we saw him
right into the Dragon Sleeper. It's over.
We've seen him utilize that. And look at him, he's got the body scissors in.
The only hope he's got is to get to the ropes, and I don't know if he can get there.
And in order to do it, he's got to drag not only himself, but with that body scissors, all of Louis Lyndon.
All of Lyndon's body, and he was able to roll. He made it.
Indeed, ACH wisely, rather than trying to pull against Lyndon, as I was saying he would have to do, rolls with him.
Yes.
Rolls into that body lock.
How much did that hold right there take out of ACH? You know, how much did that, squeeze out of him?
Well, as we were talking about that need for oxygen earlier, of course, that body lock making it tough to breathe, that dragon sleeper cutting off the oxygen and the blood flow to the brain.
Yes. And if you can't think, you go out, and without blood, you will pass out. Without blood flow to the brain, you will pass out.
And ACH, so many times I've given him credit as having the most just inhuman body control of any competitor I've ever seen, but loss of blood flow to the brain is going to throw off your balance. It's going to throw off your nervous system.
You're going to go to sleep. That's what happens when blood flow gets cut off to the brain. If it happens for long enough and it takes about 5 to 6 seconds, you will go to sleep.
If he can even just disorient him with those dragons.
Oh, and he ain't nothing on that.
I'll tell you what, there was a fan at ringside that Louis Lyndon found himself engaged with, and he allowed himself to be taken out of the match. Yes. And with a guy like ACH, you can't let that happen.
You cannot let that happen. You can't let that happen with anybody in that AIW locker room back there.
ACH pulling himself as this crowd attempts to will him back in. That right hand and a second one. ACH driving the forearms, driving their hands, and as much as I talk about the chip on his shoulder to get past that losing streak, let's not forget, ACH, BJ, is a guy who, while having met with success in AIW, is the guy who always almost got there.
Yeah, the guy that has never quite reached that peak. The guy that has been ever so close, but just has not been able to, cross over that peak.
I talked about that J-Lit final that he was in with you and Eric Ryan. He was the runner-up.
Yes, yeah.
So many times he's had these huge showings. Yes. His 30-minute Ironman matches with Aaron Fox that he split. I mean, he didn't definitively end that. He didn't definitively win the JT Lightning Invitational Tournament. You have to think, how much is that weighing on him? For the guy that has such a strong drive to win, to be essentially an almost ran.
Flatliner right on to the ring apron there. Then that ring apron is unforgiving. Oh, big!
And the plancha this time he doesn't miss.
And he lands that one.
And when he does, you'll notice there was that short side of the ring, DJ. The plancha didn't even just take Lyndon down, it drove him into the guardrail and sandwiched him.
He ate the guardrail there too, which means there's no give on that steel, which means the full impact of ACH's body squeezed every bit of air out of Louis Lyndon's body.
ACH headed up top. Lyndon getting some time to get his facilities. ACH though one step ahead, ducking under the lariat attempt. Enzugiri finding its mark, and now it's Lyndon that's disoriented. Slingshot, corkscrew, crusher, hook of both legs, 2,
Could be over. No. Somehow he found the wherewithal to kick out. I thought he was close enough to the ropes there that he might be able to kick that leg over and hit the ropes, but he was able to kick out of that somehow. Some way, somehow.
Well, and I think ACH, in as much disbelief as this ringside crowd, they thought he had it too. ACH back to his feet.
This crowd firmly behind ACH here.
Now setting up as he cinches both arms. Lyndon with that
palm strike.
And Dragon Sleeper locked in. No, ACH reversing. Looked like it might have been a Fisherman Buster. Countered out again. ACH now hitting the ropes, but Lyndon seeing it coming, using the top rope to spring.
One of those unorthodox strikes right there.
Now rolling through.
Dragon suplex with a bridge. His shoulders are down. Oh, he barely kicks out.
Dragon suplex, but it only gets 2.
Beautiful bridge on that Dragon suplex. Beautiful.
You've got to wonder if that frustration's starting to set in for Louis Lyndon. I mean, this is ACH's calling card, PJ.
What's he got to do to keep ACH down? I mean, it has to be driving him absolutely crazy right now that he cannot keep ACH down.
I mean, this is a guy who's got so much heart, and he's going to keep fighting until his last breath. And look at that countering as he looked for another dragon suplex. ACH countering out the basement kick to the knee. Lyndon
Slipped a little bit on that kick.
Lyndon was down, ACH slipped. Pump kick, ACH countering leg lariat, just snapping Lyndon to the top turnbuckle. Now setting up
Fisherman Buster.
and putting in perfect position. ACH quickly to the outside and looks
What's
to
he
be
looking for? 450 maybe?
headed up top. Who knows? Somebody we've seen on the 450. That frog splash. Looking at the distance, I gotta think you're right, BJ. 450's on the
nailed it.
mark. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, he got the ropes. He got the ropes. Oh, and here comes Ethan Page.
Oh,
What is he doing out here? He is up to no good. I'm telling you, he is up to no good right now.
These two have taken to watching each other's backs lately.
And how those two coexist is beyond me. With the egos between those two, how they coexist.
and they're Lyndon wheelbarrow into the roll-up and
man.
only a 2 count.
Can't keep him down.
Charging in, it's ACH rolling through, cradle 1, 2. Ethan Page on the outside, keeping a wary eye, and you got to think ACH might have to watch out for both of them, but not after that
He
one.
went for that low shoulder tackle, missed, and ended up diving on his own fucking butt. His own buddy out there. I'm losing the control here.
Now it's ACH. ACH was coming in, baseball side, and there it is! Running up the ropes, tope con hilo from
This is
ACH.
insanity. Did you see that dive? What's he call that? Air Jordan dive?
Well, ACH right now is fighting 2 men, and crazy as it is, BJ, he's coming out on the winning end.
What's he setting up for here?
He set it up top, but the potato in there.
Potatoes in the way.
Lyndon won't let him go.
Potatoes in the way. Oh!
Lyndon holding on to the potato, and now
Oh, did that twist his knee?
That number game coming back at ACH. Let's not forget, again, going to that JT Lighting
Oh my
Invitational.
God, what are
and
they
a
doing?
problem with that knee. Reverse
Oh!
Super Rana.
Super reverse roll,
One,
and that's over.
2.
Good night.
And no!
Oh! He kicked out.
But wait, it's right into the Dragon Sleeper.
Oh, he rolled right into it, and now it's over.
And there we see it that
He had
time.
no choice, had to tap out right there.
Lyndon, rather than complaining.
What a match, Wadsworth, what a match.
And I'll tell you what, BJ, absolutely tragic that it ends with the